I'm going to ask if Ms. Claudette Wilson, community organizer with D15, will come forward at this time. Just speak nice and loud.
Does everybody hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Is it still morning? Yes, 11:12. I am a fast food worker. I work 2 jobs now. I don't know if Jets is considered fast food, but I work at Burger King on West 8 Mile in Mendota. I make $7.40 an hour. I've been working there since I was a junior in high school, on and off. After I graduated, I went to Lansing Community College, but I worked at Burger King there for like 6 months. And then I worked for my school, and then I left Lansing Community College, then I came back home, and then I started working for the Burger King again, and then I went to the Art Institute. Now I don't go to the Art Institute, now I'm going to Full Sail. By the end of the year, I should be in Florida. But I'm still fighting for the people. $7.40 has never and will never be enough for the work that we do and for the money that we make for the company that we don't see. I wasn't able to march, but we marched on May 10th of 2013, and that was my first time ever being able to experience such an experience. I like when I was younger, I would watch the movies or documentaries about the civil rights movement, and it just felt so surreal, like I'm actually fighting for something too, you know. And I was proud, and I was proud to see other youth and just people that were strong and were individuals and didn't care about not going to work and didn't care about what people said and the negativity that was thrown, because a lot of negativity was thrown our way. But we all prevail, and we're still prevailing, and we're still moving forward. And as long as we all stick together, because one person cannot do it, and we all know that. Moses got the slaves out of Egypt. You know, Dr. King, he helped with the end to segregation. Now we have a black president. You know, it's just, nothing is impossible is what I'm trying to say. And I know we can get our 15, because fast food, I'm just saying, like, I don't know who's worked at fast food in here, but it's no joke. It's no joke at all. It's no joke. I do everything in there, everything for $7.40. I've never gotten a raise, ever. And sometimes I feel appreciated and sometimes I don't. And it's not worth it. I'm a human being. Like I said, that's not my life. I'm not staying there, but some other people don't see other outlets. And it's sad, so I'm not trying to encourage them to stay in fast food. I want them to have bigger dreams. I don't want them to end at fast food. That's why I want them to see things like us making a stand or taking a stand and making changes, and then they can open their eyes to other things, and we can all just live better. That's why I'm a part of D15 and Good Jobs Now, which is an organization that fights for quality living for people, and that let's just I don't know, let's just do it. Like, I'm amped up listening to everybody speak, and it's a lot. It's hard to just say right now, like it would take a long time, but I love my people. I want to see us all do well in life, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks for listening.
Ms. Danielle Atkinson, founder, Mothering Justice, who's been doing a great job mothering all meeting long.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. So, as was mentioned before and in my introduction, I'm the founding director of Mothering Justice. We work on issues of financial stability. We have a Mama's Agenda, which includes increasing the minimum wage, access to paid sick days for all workers, elimination of wage theft, which was kind of what you were talking about, affordable child care, and expansion of Family Medical Leave Act. So minimum wage is front and center, and I'm going to cut my comments very short because everything that I wanted to say was said about this it's corporate greed. It's cloaked in lies about the unworthy. How this is an increase in the minimum wage would spur the economy the most organic way possible by putting a raise in the hands of the people that actually spend money, as opposed to these corporations and these multimillionaires that hide their money or invest their money in things that don't grow our community. So an increase in the minimum wage is the most ethical, most moral way of stimulating our economy and growing our community. And I just applaud the work that D15 is doing. It's not easy. It's not easy to go to work and then get out in the streets, right? Like, especially when you're making $7.40 an hour. And I just wanted to start off with a story. When my sister went to Howard University, and when she came back from a visit, she was 7 years older than me. When she came back from a visit, I remember hearing her and my parents talking, and my mom saying, "You need to go tell Danielle that right now." And my sister came downstairs and she said, "Danielle, mommy and daddy don't have a lot of money, and it's really hard for them to, send me to college, and you need to do something. You need to play a sport, get your grades up, something." And for me, getting my grades up was a little harder than my sister. My sister was a very smart girl. So I decided to play a sport. And I was lucky enough to have a scholarship that paid most of my tuition, but not all of my tuition. And so how I decided that I was going to relieve the burden on myself and my parents was I was going to graduate early, I was going to work when I came home, and that's what I did. Every time I came home, I worked. I made a little bit above minimum wage at Disney. I was in Florida at the time. And I saved up that money, and I was able to pay for my tuition. I was able to graduate in 3 years, so I didn't have as much of a burden. But I was lucky. It was lucky, I was lucky for so many reasons, and I was blessed for so many reasons. And I worked alongside people who didn't have the advantages I had, did not have parents that were able to help them in college, did not have a scholarship. And they were just trying to feed their babies, right? And so when they say that, that it's the unworthy, it's the young. I was young. I was 19 years old, and if I didn't go to work every day, if I didn't scrounge those pennies together, I wouldn't have been able to afford my education. And I took my coworkers home in the car that I was blessed with, my little broken down car. And those people, they didn't have cars. They weren't able to, they weren't definitely not able to go to school. That was not even in the picture. So, we need to tell the truth. We need to speak truth to power all the time. We need to tell our stories, and I told my story because I need you guys to think back, and we've been talking about it all day. And I'm going to send the sign up around. We need to tell these stories again and again in the media, to the powers that be. Thank you. Sorry. And so I'm asking for you guys to sign this sign-in sheet to help us collect these stories, to come out to events, and I'll talk about the events a little bit later. But so I'm representing a coalition of organizations that are in support of a legislative answer to this problem. I approached Rashida Tlaib, Representative Rashida Tlaib, to increase the minimum wage. Well, let me go back. So the president spoke at the State of the Union about minimum wage and called for an immediate increase to $10 an hour. And we have some great people in our legislature, John Schwatowski in the House and Senator Burt Johnson in the Senate, who introduced a $10 raise. But what their bills did was they fell a little short. They didn't include our tipped employees, which we need to always be mindful of. Our tipped employees are making even less than $7.40 and relying on tips that don't always come. So we asked Rashida to put together a different bill that would increase the minimum wage to $10 by 2016, and we know that doesn't go far enough, definitely did not go far enough, but we needed something that spoke to the immediate issue, but also included indexing. My first campaign, I was able to be a part of the minimum wage campaign in Florida to increase the minimum wage. And what it did, it included indexing, which means it goes up every year with inflation. So we don't have to sit and look at the same minimum wage losing its power from year to year. My mother calls me every year and tells me they increased the minimum wage again because she's still in Florida. And so that's a victory that we have every year. So that's the most important thing, I believe, is indexing and including tipped employees. So we have a coalition. It's Michigan United, Rock United, or Rock Michigan, Mothering Justice. AFT is also in the coalition, and this is a loose coalition. We are dedicated to increasing the minimum wage, and there's room to change how much and all those things. But we want to definitely bring attention to Representative Tlaib's bill. As something that's going on. On July 24th, we are going to have a press conference, which I would love for you guys to speak at, in Detroit, talking about the need to increase the minimum wage. We are looking for a location of a business that supports an increase in the minimum wage. We would like workers to speak. We would like somebody to speak about the economic impact as far as the positive economic impact of an increase in the minimum wage, but also what the minimum wage is doing to the economy now. People who are working 40 hours a week are still eligible for government assistance, and talking about that reality of how we as a society are subsidizing big businesses' bad behavior. We are giving money to Walmart, to McDonald's, to Burger King, because they're hurting, so they need our money. So that's what we're doing. It's corporate welfare. So we want to speak the truth about that. We just want a big crowd to be able to support the work that Good Jobs Now has been doing, and the restaurant, the fast food employees, but also we need to blow this up, right? July 24th is a national day of action. They're going to be doing things all around the country, but we definitely want to have our presence shown here. We want people that are making minimum wage now, people that are not making minimum wage, who understand the value of increasing the minimum wage there. So I will get all of that information to you. Again, like I said, we're in the beginning stages of planning this event, and we want a business that supports an increase in the minimum wage. So we're thinking about Russell Street Deli. Colors is always a backup because they're really great. Restaurant. I think that was all I wanted to say. I just want to make sure that everyone signs in.